Hey folks, welcome to the Do-It-Yourself Dad channel. We have a couple sayings in this house. I bring home strays and all my bad ideas have wheels, and this definitely applies. I picked up this bike for really cheap. It is good from afar, but far from good, and I don't even really know if it's good from afar. It's pretty thrashed. Mechanically, it's great. The engine works great, the transmission works great, but everything else in this bike needs a solid redo. I wanted a dual sport because I wanted to be able to go off-road and go on-road with plates, and they're really expensive, so we're going to try to do this on the cheap. So let's get this bike off the truck and into the shop. As soon as we got into the shop, we started the process of ripping the whole thing apart. We took all the parts off it that we knew we could get off of it, and we saved the ones we could. We tossed the ones that we couldn't. We were pretty fortunate that a lot of the plastics were in good shape, and that will come into play a little bit later. Once we had everything off the bike, it was time to give it a bath. We sprayed everything down with purple degreaser. It's my favorite degreaser. I've got that stuff in the description below. And then the engine we sprayed down with engine degreaser and then hit it with a pressure washer. Then we hit up the old internet machine and ordered all our parts. We found everything on Amazon and eBay. We've got links to everything in the description below. We carefully removed the exhaust, knowing we were going to have to reuse it. Now, these exhausts are very hard to find, and ours fortunately only had surface rust on it, so we're going to give it a refurbishment. We went over the muffler and the header pipe with a wire brush to get all the rust off it that we could. Fortunately, it was all surface rust. Then we wiped it down with denatured alcohol, sprayed it with a rust preventative primer, and then coated everything with a special paint that you can pick up that's special for exhaust. It handles the high temperatures very well. In the end, the exhaust came out looking great. The one thing to be careful of when you do this kind of work is that the paint doesn't really cure and harden until it's been heat cycled on the bike, so you do have to be careful until you install it. The stock turn signals were thrashed. The stocks were cracked, the lenses were cracked, the wiring was shot, so we pulled those off and replaced them with LEDs. Now, often LEDs are an issue because you have to replace the flashing module or put resistors in line, but these ones I picked up, you don't need any of that. So these were real nice, they were just plug and play. Now it's time to address the controls of the bike. The handlebar was in pretty rough shape, so we removed it and all the controls. We scuffed the handlebar, wiped it down with denatured alcohol, and then sprayed it with a black paint. We did the same to all the other control components as well a little later on. Now it's time to deal with the Achilles heel of this bike, and that is the rear suspension. The stock rear suspension is not rebuildable, so if you blow a seal on it, you're out of luck. You gotta get a new one. Replacement ones from the factory are about $1,000, so I tried this one off eBay, and guess what? Went through all the process of getting installed, it was blown. So I had to order a new one, and I went to Cogent Dynamics and ordered a new shock from them. The new one showed up, and it's amazing. Well worth every penny. Paid more for the shock than I did for the whole bike, but definitely worth it. Almost blew the budget, but still managed to come in under my target, which I will talk about at the very end of the video. Now, after tackling the rear suspension, we tackled the front suspension. So we took the front wheel off the bike and then we drained the suspension fluid out of the shocks. Now, the shocks on these are an oil shock with a spring, and it actually has an air valve on the top where you can give an additional preload to it. So these things were leaking really bad, so bad that they actually got fluid all over the calipers and the front brakes really weren't working. So we popped the front end apart and we started the rebuild process. These forks are actually pretty simple to rebuild. You can remove the retainer clips, pressurize the fork with an air compressor, the top pops off, and you can put the new seals in, add oil from the top, and put them all back together. So it actually wasn't that difficult of a process. The front fender had several large cracks in it, so we yanked off the front fender and then we pulled everything else off the front end that we could so we could clean everything up and give it a respray. Once everything was removed, we scuffed everything down lightly with sandpaper, wiped it down with denatured alcohol, allowed it to dry, and then sprayed everything down with primer and then black paint. Once everything had a chance to dry, it was time to reassemble everything. In the process of the reassembly, we actually did replace the front brake master cylinder. It was completely shot. And we also went through and cleaned up all the wiring, sprayed it all down, and made sure there was no corrosion so we didn't have any shorts and everything was working correctly. With the bars complete, we reinstalled the forks, and once the forks were installed, we reinstalled the gauge cluster and the ignition and rewired everything. So now we're going to work on the headlight, and I know I'm going to get some hate from the purists on this one because I switched the cowling out and I also switched the headlight out to an LED, and I hate to admit where I got this thing from. I actually bought it from Wish, but you wouldn't be a YouTuber if you didn't do a Wish unboxing video, right? So I guess I qualify now. So we put this thing on the bike, but we didn't do any hacks of the wiring. We actually wired in a regular headlight connector to the LED headlight, so this whole thing snaps in, the whole thing fits on the factory mount, so nothing on the bike has been modified. Everything can get put back if we want it to. The front fender was replaced with a new one. The last one was damaged and some cracks in it, and this one's a little bit different, but it looks right, I think, with that front cowling, and it also, all the angles kind of meet up with the tank, and it all, I think, makes sense. Let me know what you think. I installed a RAM mount on the handlebars. We do a lot of off-roading, and having a GPS or a cell phone up on the bars is a big help with navigation. So we used a RAM mount. It's probably the best cell phone mount you can put on your bike. Now it was time to go to the fuel system. We removed the tank, pulled all the hoses free, and then we went to go take the carburetor off, and we found this. Magically, this was the only strip screw I found on the whole bike, but we did have to get out the drill to get this thing out. Before cracking the carburetor open, we actually cleaned the outside with that same Purple Power cleaner that I love so much that I mentioned earlier in the video. Scrubbed down the entire outside of it, got all the junk free. I didn't want to get that stuff inside the carburetor once I started disassembling it. Once we popped open the carburetor, I was actually pleasantly surprised it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But removing the jets and inspecting them, the jets were a little bit plugged up, so we did clean them all out and then reassembled the carburetor. There was a mystery hole on the top of the airbox, don't really know why, but we did mix up some plastic epoxy and repaired it. I do have a video all about using plastic epoxy and repairing plastic parts in the description below from one of my other projects. Then it was time for round 3 of cleaning. We hosed down the bike again, sprayed it all down again, and got at it with a brush and really made sure we got everything cleaned off the bike, because the next step of this bike is prettying the thing up. Now the engine does look pretty chalky as a result of all that degreaser we've sprayed on it, and we're going to do something different. We're not going to paint it, and the reason we're not painting it is because this is a dirt bike. It's just going to get ridden around in the dirt and dropped. So we are using an engine brightener, and this stuff, I've read a lot of things online, people complaining about this stuff being greasy, and that's because they're not using it right. You do want to spray it on pretty thick, let it sit, and then wipe everything off. You don't want to leave it wet, and once it runs, the stuff will dry. It won't attract dust, it won't be greasy, but it'll make your bike look great. Now with the motor looking good, we'll start putting the rest of the bike back together. We're going to put on the exhaust first. Now remember what I mentioned before, that paint that we put on is pretty soft until it cures with the heat of the motor, so you do want to be careful when you're putting this stuff on not to scratch it against the frame of the bike. Now when I started this project, I had intentions of painting everything pure white, and I had kind of second thoughts, and I put it up on YouTube, and you guys answered leave it stock, and I actually agree with you, so I did. Left the thing stock, and I really like it that way. The one thing I couldn't leave stock though was the seat. The seat was in really bad shape, so we did pick up some black vinyl. This stuff is specifically for motorcycle seats. It's a little bit more stretchy, so if you've got a bike with a weird contoured seat like this one, it goes on real smooth. This was my first time ever recovering a seat, and I was pretty proud of how it came out. We were really fortunate the plastics on this bike were still in good shape, but they were really dirty. We hit them with the pressure washer, and even with the pressure washer, they were still pretty grungy, and I actually found that using the Mr. Clean Magic Erasers was the best way to get the dirt and the scuff marks off of white plastics. The soft vinyl bag was replaced with one of these hard cases, and that was because I wanted something that was lockable, water sealed, and also foam inside, so if I put my cameras or my drone in it, they would be safe. Now with everything buttoned back up, it's time to throw a leg over the bike, give it a couple priming kicks, and then let her rip. So hey, I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it. I really like this bike. I like how it came out, and I'm ready to get out in the dirt. So if you haven't already, go down in that comment section. Let me know what you think, and let me know what you think my next project should be. I kind of already have something in the works. If you haven't already become a subscriber, please consider doing so. It really does help out the channel, and we've got a lot more awesome content coming your way. And of course, thanks for watching.